Hello everyone, welcome back to my B&B Today spoiler channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. The bold and the beautiful B&B update for Monday, July 27th indicates that Will Spencer Crew Morrow and Melissa Dillon Sydney Bullock will spend the morning in each other's warms, while Steffy Forrester Finnegan Jacqueline McInnes Wood interrupts Hope Logan Spencer Annika Noel to launch an angry outburst at Logan. Hope will already be working on her next collection when Steffy shows up with a bone to pick. Things are more tense than ever between the Spencers and the Forresters. So Steffy will think Hope's a big reason why. Steffy will blow up at Hope for abandoning hope for the future when it was just on pause. Although Steffy will act like Hope was unfair and impatient. Hope may point out that Steffy never really allowed her to have a stable fashion line. Katie Logan Spencer Heather Tom encouraged Hope to bolt from Forrester Creations and collaborate on something new with Deke Sharp Harrison Cohn at Logan, where they were both given a warm welcome. Now that Hope has a team who supports her, she stand by her decision and refused to let Steffy rain on her parade, of course. Steffy may bring up how much Hope hurt Brooke Logan Forrester Catherine Kelly Lang with her actions. Hope does feel guilty about that part, but she still dig her heels in against Steffy and argue that she was mistreated at Forrester. Steffy will still feel like Hope played a huge role in launching the battle that's underway. So their fight will get pretty nasty on Monday's episode. Other B&B spoilers say Will's going to awaken with Dylan and process what happened between them the night before. Will finally surrendered to Dylan's kisses and ended up carrying her to the sofa. But just how far did their encounter go from there? The show implied that Dylan and Will were going to take their passion to the next level, but they'll still be wearing most of their clothes when they awaken together. No matter what exactly transpired, Will and Dylan definitely stepped out of the friend zone, since Will isn't over Electra Forrester Linnea Grace yet. Will he have any regrets when he talks to Dylan about what went down? Whatever the case, Wyatt Spencer Darren Brooks will soon have questions about Will's love life when he presumably arrives at the beach house and realizes his brother's been with a new woman. At some point in the coming episodes, Electra will get the news that Dylan followed Will home and will wonder just how far her comfort went. The bold and the beautiful spoilers say Electra and Will's families will continue to feud in the meantime, so don't miss what's in store. The bold and the beautiful is an absolute powder keg. We've got a shocking morning after reveal, a screaming match between two of daytime's biggest rivals, and secrets that are about to blow the Forrester mansion wide open. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell because you do not want to miss what's coming this week. Let's get into it. The episode opens at a chic downtown loft, sunlight pouring through the windows, and the camera slowly pans across a room that's clearly seen a wild night. Clothes are scattered near the door. A half-empty bottle of champagne sits abandoned on the counter. And then, the big reveal the promos have been teasing all week. Will stirs awake first, blinking against the light, and turns over to find Dylan lying right there beside him. For a beat, nobody says anything. The tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. Will sits bolt upright, running a hand through his hair, clearly trying to piece together the night before. Dylan, meanwhile, looks far more composed, almost amused, as he watches Will spiral into panic. This didn't happen, Will mutters, more to himself than to Dylan. Dylan just smirks. Sweetheart, it happened. And judging by the volume last night, the whole building probably knows it happened. Cue the dramatic musical sting and a hard cut to commercial break tension. This is the moment fans have been speculating about for weeks, ever since the two were shown getting closer at that rooftop party a few episodes back. Writers have clearly been building to this, dropping little hints, the lingering glances, the accidental run-ins at the coffee shop, the way Dylan always seemed to know exactly where Will would be. Monday's episode confirms it was never a coincidence. When we return, the two are getting dressed in an awkward silence that says more than any dialogue could. Will keeps stealing glances at Dylan like he's trying to solve a puzzle, and Dylan keeps that same maddening half-smile the entire time. Finally, Will breaks the silence? What does this mean for us? For everything. Dylan's answer is deliberately vague, something along the lines of, "It means whatever we decide it means," which, if you know soap opera writing, translates directly to, "Absolute chaos is coming." This is not a couple who's about to quietly figure things out over brunch. This is a storyline that's going to ripple through every other relationship in town, and the preview clips for later this week practically confirm it. Now here's the part that's got fans buzzing in the comments already. There are strong hints that someone else already knows what happened between Will and Dylan, and that person is not going to keep it quiet. Whether it's revenge, jealousy, or just old-fashioned soap opera meddling, expect this secret to detonate sooner rather than later. My money's on it coming out within the next 2 to 3 episodes, max. This show does not sit on a juicy secret for long, but honestly, as big as that morning after scene is, it's not even the most explosive part of Monday's episode. Because over at Forrester Creations, Steffy and Hope are about to have the fight fans have been waiting for. It starts innocently enough, a design meeting. Tension already simmering under the surface because of a decision Steffy made about a campaign that completely sidelined one of Hope's design lines. Hope walks in expecting to discuss revisions. Instead, she finds out her work has already been pulled and replaced. Without so much as a conversation, you can feel the temperature in the room drop the second Hope realizes what's happened. "You didn't think to call me," Hope says, voice tight, arms crossed. "Not one conversation before, you just erased months of work." Steffy, never one to back down, doesn't even flinch. "I made an executive decision because the numbers weren't there." Hope, this is a business, not a charity, and that's when it really ignites. What starts as a professional disagreement spirals fast into something much more personal. Old wounds, old rivalries, years of unspoken resentment all rising to the surface at once. Steffy brings up loyalty. Hope brings up trust. Someone mentions history repeating itself, and if you've watched this show for any length of time, you know exactly what that's code for, because these two have never just been business rivals. And Monday's writers make sure viewers remember that. The confrontation escalates until office staff are visibly uncomfortable, hovering near the doorway, unsure whether to intervene. Voices rise. Hope accuses Steffy of always assuming she knows best because of her last name. Steffy fires back that Hope constantly plays the victim to get sympathy instead of results. It's raw, it's messy, and it's exactly the kind of scene that reminds you why this rivalry has fueled the show for years. The scene ends without resolution, no hug, no apology, no truce. Just Hope storming out, slamming the door hard enough that a picture frame rattles on the wall. And Steffy left standing alone in the office, jaw clenched. Clearly rattled even though she'd never admit it. So let's talk about where this leaves us heading into the rest of the week. On one hand, you've got Will and Dylan waking up to a reality neither of them fully expected, with a secret that's already ticking like a time bomb. On the other, you've got Steffy and Hope's rivalry reignited at full volume, right as the design showcase is approaching, which, if the writers are being consistent, means this professional blow-up is going to bleed directly into personal territory very soon. Here's my prediction. Expect Dylan to be the one who lets something slip, whether intentionally or not, and expect it to land at the worst possible moment, probably right in the middle of the Forrester tension, pulling multiple storylines together in one messy collision. That's classic Bold and the beautiful structure. They rarely let two big storylines run in parallel for long without smashing them into each other, and as for Steffy and Hope, don't expect a quick resolution. This felt like the opening shot of a much longer war, not a one-episode spat. If the previews are any indication, we're looking at weeks of fallout from this one confrontation alone. So that's Monday's episode in a nutshell. A shocking wake-up call. A blowout fight, and a whole lot of storylines about to collide. What do you think happens next? Does Will come clean about Dylan? Does Steffy and Hope's fight cost someone their job? Drop your predictions in the comments below. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this recap, Smash that like button, subscribe for daily updates, and I'll see you right back here for tomorrow's episode breakdown. Until then, stay bold, stay beautiful, and I'll catch you next time.